again so much for coming. My name is Meredith, and today my teammates and I would like to share with you some of the reasons why we are so passionate about the historic preservation of the Cooper House. But not only that, we would also like to share with you some of the ways that we have come up with to promote awareness for the University of Kentucky's history, as well as the impact the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environment has served over this 150-year journey. So before we get started, I have a couple of questions for you guys. And I was checking Twitter and I was checking Yik Yak before these started, so I think I know where this first question is going, but crazier things have happened. So if you guys will raise your hand, since you have been on main campus today, if you have seen any type of livestock, a cow, a pig, a chicken, no one? Oh.
And they're carcasses now.
So the next question I have for you all is, since you have been on campus today, how many of you all have seen a building or a structure that was not here when you first arrived at the University of Kentucky? Now, it's no surprise to any of us that the University of Kentucky is undergoing a period of vast change and renovation. While it is absolutely wonderful that the university is finding new ways to promote its academic programs, its research facilities, and its extension services, the loss of the heritage and the history that we feel while we are on campus has been a costly consequence. The Cooper House, which has been standing on the university even before it was granted its A&M status, is now currently nestled in between some of the nation's leading research facilities. And what we want to do is historically preserve the Cooper House to not only represent where we've been in the last 150 years, but where we're going in the next 150. And to do this, we have a 3-step program that we'd like to present to you today. So first, we want to raise awareness for not only the University of Kentucky, but also the history that the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environment has played in that history. And the second will be to obtain funding for the project. And the third is to utilize the Cooper House, once historically preserved, as the foundation of our roots. Next, Zach is going to be telling us a little bit more about our awareness campaign.
So as you see the picture on the screen here, we've all had one of those tours where, this is just one of your basic, nonchalant, So when I did my campus tour, I was a little disappointed. Our tour consisted of a bus ride from main campus past the College of Ag with the tour guide giving us a description of each building. It wasn't the greatest, and looking back, I was a little disappointed, because the tour guide was, talking about all of our top research programs, but, it kind of lacked to the history and the journey that we took to get there. And then today, as you see our campus and it's ever growing, we want to know why we are where we are. So the Cooper House kind of stands as to where we are going. Like Meredith said, where are we going in our next 150 years? And then the College of Ag seems to have a great void between the main campus. Everybody sees the main building, the one with the big pinwheel point, as the symbol for the college. But nobody really knows or recognizes the symbol for the College of Ag. We have our abbreviation, CAFE. So when we talk about the Cooper House, we want that to be the building that the College of Ag symbol, that symbolically they recognize in each of them. And then Jackson is going to talk about our marketing campaign and who that's going to reach to.
Hello everyone, I'm here to guide you through page 3 of our executive summary, our target audience. Think of your daily walk through South Campus as you go past Garrigus and Ag North, all of the College of Ag students that you see. Take a step farther, and now you're in North Campus. While you're there, I want you to picture all of the University of Kentucky students you see. Now go many steps further into downtown Lexington and all the Lexington community members that you see. There are thousands of people that will be positively impacted by the restoration of the Cooper House. We have divided these thousands of people into 5 unique groups. Our first group is the young activist, and that's us. The teams you see presenting here today are all students and Lexington community members who wish to preserve UK's history. Our next group extends beyond campus and the Lexington community. The campus has changed dramatically in the past few years, but a restoration will provide an anchor for our alumni to return to post-graduation. Seasoned Lexington residents and UK's own history department form our next group. The Cooper House is a window into the past. It is vital that we restore this location for future generations to witness how the university was built. The next group asks, what makes Lexington unique? Is it our horses? Is it our bourbon? Or is it our iconic Southern architecture? Without beautiful buildings like the Cooper House, Lexington would be indistinguishable. Our local architecture lovers will jump on the opportunity to restore a Lexington landmark. Our final group are green go-getters. This includes anyone concerned about the environment and sustainable building methods. It is far more eco-friendly to restore a building than to use all new materials to create a new building. UK's history, alumni stability, iconic architecture, and sustainable building practices are all reasons to restore the Cooper House. Next, Meredith will discuss our action plan to make this restoration possible.
So, it's been proven that when people understand the history and the heritage of the organizations that they're a part of, they tend to feel a stronger sense of pride, and not only are they more prideful of their organizations, but they also have a stronger desire to positively impact those organizations in the future. And that's exactly what we hope to do through the first step of our Cooper House project, which is to simply raise awareness for the University of Kentucky and the role that the College of Agriculture has played in its upbringing. To do this, we not only want to target current and prospective students, but also the faculty and the Lexington community. So to do this, the first way that we'd like to propose to target prospective students would be to formally add the University of Kentucky's College of Agriculture to the list of tours whenever students come to tour the entire campus. To target current students, what we would like to do is start to go ahead and embed that history early on into their college careers. To do this, we would like to propose adding the history of the university to the Gen 100 courses that freshmen have to take when they first come to the College of Agriculture. We'd also like to go ahead and start creating promotional material, like these t-shirts that you all are going to receive. To do this, hopefully, we would be engaging students and driving them to our online platforms to learn more about the Cooper House and about the history of the university. These platforms will include Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our official Cooper House website. The second step is going to be obtaining funding for the Cooper House project. And the first phase of this will be the silent phase, much like the capital campaign was telling us about. And in this phase, what we want to do is not only obtain stakeholders, but also to be applying and receiving grants on both the national and the local level for the funding of the Cooper House. Now, there are several organizations that allow and give funding for historic preservation projects, and some of these include the National Trust for Historic Preservation, Historic Federal Tax Grants, the Bluegrass Trust, and Preservation Kentucky. Alongside with these grants and select UK alumni and supporters, we hope to finish out the silent phase of this funding campaign. The second phase will be targeted to the public, to students, to faculty, and the Lexington community. And to do this, we hope to offer events both formal and casual to target exactly the target demographics that Jackson just finished telling us about. The final phase is what we really are just so passionate about, which is to be utilizing the Cooper House as a symbol, not only as a physical symbol, so thinking of things that we could do, like when we were going through our tour with Mr. Hammond, and he was sharing with us what made the Cooper House so important. So thinking about it from the outside first. We'd like to go ahead and restore the brick surfaces to its original states. We'd like to rebuild the porches. And lastly, we'd really like to replant Dean Cooper's vegetable garden. Taking a step inside the Cooper House, there were a few things that really stood out to us. While we hope to preserve the entire house, there are a few things that we'd really like to focus on, which include rehabilitating the stairwell, rebuilding the stained glass window, and recreating Dean Cooper's study. Now, the physical symbols of the Cooper House are important, but what's more important are the emblematic symbols that it will stand for. These things include the unity that will be created between students, alumni, faculty, and the Lexington community. By restoring our past, we are strengthening our future. And the historic preservation of the Cooper House will represent the 150-year journey that the university has undergone in promoting its academic programs, expanding its research facilities, and strengthening its extension services. Finally, Rachel is going to explain to us how exactly we're going to measure these 3 steps in our action plan.
Okay, so now that we have our plan together, who is going to run this campaign? First of all, students should be involved in this, along with some alumni and faculty, because this will give a very diverse outlook on the project, and each sector of the college will be included, which will be successful in moving into the future. Because one day, those students will be alumni and possibly even faculty. So once we get this team together, and the funds, awareness, and support is raised, how do we gauge if it's successful? First, let's take a step back. When you hear the word success, what do you think of? Do you think of Bill Gates, a Fortune 500 company, or getting your dream job? For me, after graduating, one of my goals is to finally get a new car. More specifically, a 50th anniversary Ford Mustang. So how does this relate to the Cooper House's success? First, let's look at Ford. What did they do to cause all the hype about the 50th anniversary car? First thing is, it's a 50-year-old icon. Just like the Cooper House is a 150-plus-year-old icon for the University of Kentucky. They were both successful back in the day. However, the Cooper House, has fallen behind and needs to be rehabilitated. When developing the car, Ford was careful to make sure that the new car had the original look and feel of the first Mustang had. But they also knew that it had to have updated features that we have become accustomed to in this modern age. Just like the 2015 Ford Mustang has not lost the original charm is the 1964 car, the Cooper House, after finished, will possess its original charm and amenities that we have come to love and expect. Also, we can look at a level of awareness for the history of the university by resurveying students and faculty about their knowledge of the history. Also, looking into the amount of funding received for the completion of the historic preservation, we can then compare the amount of money raised with the amount of money spent promoting awareness. Lastly, we can look at profitability and utilization of the newly preserved Cooper House by the amount of revenue being brought into the house as well as its reach into the Lexington community and tourism. When we see groups of people coming to see and use this house, we will know that we have achieved our goals and that making this place is both exciting and nostalgic. And we will take pride in that we are developing and will succeed in saving and rehabilitating this historic landmark known as the Cooper House.
Again, our committee and guests, feel free to